Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First, I would like to thank Dr. Sikdar for a very enlightening presentation and for sharing the achievements, because Pakistan shares the same, more or less the same, so that I'll be conveying the same message to you also. And good morning, Assalamu alaikum, excellencies, dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking on behalf of Minister Mr. Kadir Patel, who could not come due to his occupation in meeting the challenge imposed by the devastating flood in Pakistan. I would like to congratulate PPD for organizing this conference and providing a common platform where countries can share their program, best practices, and discuss the possibilities of benefiting from each other. I would also like to thank them for inviting me to attend this wonderful activity, and my special thanks to His Excellency Mr. Zahid Malakiu, PPD Board Member and Honorable Minister for Health and Family Planning, Bangladesh, and my special thanks to all of you for attending this workshop and for listening to me. We are aware, Pakistan is aware of the fact that human resource of a country plays an important role, not only in the economic development, but also for the social well-being of the country. However, large population size and lack of proper management of human resources may lead to social distress and reduced economic performance. As per Census 2017, we are a country of 208 million, and by 2022, we will be 228. And if this situation continues, then we will be 338 million in 2050. Population, a threat or an asset? In our opinion, and in your opinion also, if it is productive, if it is economically, if it is adding more in the economic production, then of course it is an asset for us, like India, like China. But if it is non-productive, then it becomes a liability and a threat for every country. It is also important to mention that Pakistan's largest segment of population consists of youth. But if planned properly, this youth bulge can be translated into economic gain with education and skill development, where this platform can be used accordingly. The government has accorded highest priority to youth empowerment at national level. And to accomplish this, a national youth development framework has been developed on the basic principles of education, engagement, and employment. In addition, various social programs, schemes have been initiated to meet the challenge of unemployment among youth. Pakistan is fully committed to accomplish sustainable development goals by reducing maternal, child, infant mortality and to improve our indicators. What we feel that family planning is a tool to improve mother and child health, and it should not be dealt separately. It is just a driving force for that. Efforts are being made to ensure universal access to reproductive healthcare services across the country. The Council, another initiative, and it is very important, I would like to have your attention, please. The Council of Common Interest, under the chair of Prime Minister of Pakistan, has approved a set of 8 recommendations to regulate population growth and to achieve SDGs. Among 8, the most important, which I just want to share, that universal access to family planning. We have drafted laws to restrain from child marriage and to ensure premarital counseling. These laws have been approved by cabinet in most of the provinces, and in some provinces it is in line. Because another important thing, political involvement and political sustainability is very essential for the implementation of any program. And for this reason, we have involved our parliamentarian, because if a very good document is prepared and if there is discontinuity in the implementation, then we will not be able to achieve that. The recommendations of CCI have been translated into Action Plan 2020 and 25, which were approved by the Federal Task Force on Population under the chair of President of Pakistan. And it is also important to mention that this action plan is developed in line with ICPD 25 Nairobi commitments and FP 2030 commitments. After developing this national action plan, there are few issues which I would like to highlight. Number one, finances. Federal government and provincial government, they have allocated sufficient budget to meet this requirement. But there is a gap of 40% for the implementation of this plan. For this issue, international donor conference was held under the leadership of President of Pakistan, but unfortunately, we were just in the process of that. And of course, the donors and our UN organization, they have graciously committed that they will help Pakistan on this issue. But at the same time, when we were in the process of that, we have seen a devastated flood situation in Pakistan, and now it is on hold. And we are hoping that once we will come out from this flood situation, then we will again start contacting all the donor agencies. Another thing is that, which is also highlighted by one of my colleagues, that contraception availability. Right now, we are depending on other countries for the import of contraception. We are not getting any support from the donors for the procurement of contraceptive. It is only the government of Pakistan, the federal and provincial government, they have allocated sufficient budget for procurement activities. But we need support from all the countries to help and to provide assistance in local production of contraceptive, because it is not easy for us to get, because our economy is still in a very fragile situation, and we are already committing a lot on population management. But for the import, we have to use our foreign exchange for that. And sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to cope up with the situation. So we need all His Excellencies, dignitaries, and all, because this is a platform where you can provide assistance. And in return, as a barter trade, we can also help them wherever, in what capacity you need support from the government of Pakistan, because we have developed a very good monitoring and mechanism for monitoring of the CCI recommendations. So there are so many other areas, and we can sit together. I'll share that in my other meeting at the DG level. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, in the recent history of mankind, the COVID-19 pandemic, mentioned by everyone now, is the biggest global challenge for the world health system and socio-economic fabric. The pandemic has exposed the complex global interdependencies, highlighted fault lines in social structure that perpetuate ethnic, economic, social, and gender inequalities. On one side, when we were fighting against COVID management, at the same time, another disaster happened in the form of flood, which I have just discussed, putting extra pressure on an already compromised health system. Against all odds, the government of Pakistan is determined to ensure the availability of best health services at the grassroots level. You know that in Pakistan, health and population is a devolved subject. But still, federal and provincial government are engaged in, and they are working together, and they are engaged in developing strategic partnership for enhancing technical and institutional capacities, achieving universal health goal and multi-sectoral approach despite all of crisis, with the support of all donors, and we really appreciate their support and assistance. Women, common issue across the globe, not only in Pakistan, not mine issue only. And to ensure and invest on women, which is almost half of the population in Pakistan, the government has been fully cognizant of its constitutional responsibilities, and we have taken steps for protecting the rights of the women. We are just not saying, but we are just actually we have taken a number of steps, constitutional steps, in the form of developing laws approved by the cabinet. And we are closely working with all stakeholders to protect the right of women and realizing their full potential in all spheres of life, especially social, economic, political, and personal. In 2020 and 21, the government introduced several interventions to improve gender governance through financial empowerment of women and expansion of social protection net to encompass needs of women in the most vulnerable group of population and curb gender-based violence. I have a detailed list of that. SARS program, BIS program. I'm not going into detail of that, but we have a number of social net. And of course, the health coverage, free health coverage, universal card for that. It is free for many, the cards have been developed for the compromised society, for the poor people. Ministry of Planning, Development and Special Initiative in collaboration with the provincial counterparts and the UNDP carried out an extensive series of divisional level workshops on sensitization to SDGs at the grassroots level, localization and prioritization of SDGs, and data gap analysis for proper monitoring and reporting, because if there is no monitoring, no supervision, then we will not be able to track where we are and where we want to move. To achieve the no poverty by 2030 is part of comprehensive SDG Agenda 1 that calls to end poverty extreme in its all manifestation by ensuring social protection, increase
please
to
conclude.
Basic services and support people from economic, social and environmental shocks. Pakistan has been consistently ranked as one of the most affected countries by climate change. The population is facing challenges of natural disasters like flood, drought, cyclone, earthquake, you just name that, which have been growing in intensity and frequency with the passage of time. The government is taking different measures to effectively tackle climate change challenges, such as improving technological response by setting in place early warning system and information mechanism to enhance disaster preparedness, climate change resilience, and by improving forest management and biodiversity conservation. We are working on the utilization of indigenous and environmentally clean energy generation resources also. The government has made Alternative Energy Development Board, which is responsible for the renewable energy sector. In this regard, the promotion of alternative and renewable technologies is the top priority of the government. I would like to emphasize on one thing.
Madam, because of time,
Just 1 minute.
Please, yeah,
just 1 minute. Just one more minute, please. I would like to emphasize that population is a cross-cutting issue and must be dealt with multi-sectoral and integrated approach. Only this approach is the solution to this problem, not family planning and RH services alone. This forum is essential to improve our indicators if it is implemented on equity based, not on equality based. Equity should be the key to success. Rightly said, beautifully said, if we want to go first, then go alone, but far, then together. If population is productive, it is asset, but if it is not, then it is liability. Thank you so much.